Hello and welcome to the information event of the Students Information and Academic Advising Service. We do this program every semester, but this semester there's a premiere, as we do the first time in English. So I beg your pardon if I sometimes miss vocabulary or do some grammar mistakes. Anyway, we do that because we're an international university and this event will have a lot of topics concerning international affairs. First of all, who am I? So now it works. My name is Peter Brandstetter and I'm the leader, the leader of the Department of the Students Information and Advising Service. What we do here is to help students and prospective students to get into the study program and give them a hand through their study program, mainly concerning organizational affairs. One of these organizational affairs is, of course, to register all the lectures you have to do within one semester. If you know how to, it's easy. If you don't know how to, it can be very complicated. So this will be a major topic of today. But before we come to that point, you see it's the last start study programs, KUSSS, myJKU, and course registration. We have a few other inputs prepared for you. And the first is, if you did not yet, but you should, how to connect with the university social media we have, and therefore I beg Gregor to say a few words.
Thank you so much, Peter. Is this on? Yes. Am I in the range? Yes. So, hi and welcome from me. Welcome to the JK Universe. It's wonderful to see so many people of you joining for this semester and summer semester to be a part of JKU. Also, hi to all the people who are watching right now in YouTube and also who will be watching this video as a recording after the live show is over here. I'm Gregor Pechmann. I'm the social media manager of this esteemed university, and together with my colleague Sarah, imagine here Sarah, she's like this height, we are taking care of all of the social media activities of this university. So let me first ask you a question. Who of you guys and girls is on social media, any platform? Okay, now well, who is not on social media? Okay, so everyone is on social media. Second question is, who of you follows any of the JKU social media profiles? Also, almost everyone, but not everyone. That's why I'm here. So, JKU has in total over 125,000 followers across all of the platforms. Can you, like my slide? Sorry. Actually, it's my job to press the presentation, I'm sorry. That's okay. I can continue talking, don't worry. So we do have 125,000 followers. That's me. Yeah. And if you're not interested in any funny TikTok dances, JKU basically has a profile for all of your needs. If you're interested in scientific achievements of the prowess of JKU, seeing what's going on in your faculty or other faculties, check us up on LinkedIn. There we post regularly the newest research that is done by JKU as well as success stories. If you're a boomer or Generation X and you're clinging to the past, you can also follow us on Facebook. You know, that's still an option. If you do like to have some syncopated fun about ducks, we recently opened our Threads account and are just like funny without our boss really knowing about it. On YouTube, you can find us here. All of this important information, live streams are happening on YouTube. And if you're fed up with Elon Musk, you can also find us on Blue Sky, not on X. The most important, and we also have TikTok, but there we do not do dances too much, so don't expect too much. The most important for you may be Instagram. Who of you does not have Instagram? Okay, don't worry, but you can close your eyes, or maybe you can download it fast. Because Instagram is our channel to communicate with the students, to basically show what is happening on campus. We're trying to be like your study buddy by posting every Monday the weekly events that's happening on this week. You can also find, for example, this WhatsApp JKU, how we call it, at the entrance sign of the university when you're coming from the tram. There on the screen, you can also find it for people that are not on Instagram. But every Monday we post it out, so you will never miss any of the events happening this week, or for example, deadlines, right? When there are deadlines for scholarships, when there are deadlines for certain programs, you can find them there. Also, of course, we show some nice places of the university. We give you tips about your study every day, opening hours of the different restaurants and cafeterias, maybe some hidden places that you might discover so or so throughout your semester or year here, or the whole studies. And also, what is also important, it is me and Sarah, still imagine her, right? It's us behind this channel. So if you have any questions regarding your studies, ask them. But if you have any questions regarding the university per se, about what is happening, you found something after a Mensa Fest that is happening every Thursday, you lost your keys, write us, right? We are a direct communication with the students, and we are here to personally always answer your questions, to give you insights, and also to have some fun online. Yes, and with this, thank you so much. You can find the link to Instagram either here by scanning this really nicely done QR code, or on the stickers that I put on your seats. If you don't have one in front of you, here's still some in the first row. The QR code on the back side is leading to the Instagram channel of JKU, and we're happy for every like, follow, and share. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Gregor. Just give it to me. Yes, all students are online. I mentioned to the students in the room before, of course you can ask questions. You have a chat room where you can ask your questions, and we also try to answer questions within this lecture then online. For you in the room, still again, if you have questions, just raise your hand and ask, but I think there are no questions to the social media aspects. No, not yet. Anyway, next point in our program is especially for students from international countries. It's really a pleasure for me and an honor for me to have the International Welcome Center here with Norma and Sabine. They will tell you now a few very interesting informations and help you can get from them when you're from a foreign country and studying at the JKU. So I welcome them, and I'll prepare the presentation and give it over. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi, yeah. Okay, super. Thanks for having us. So welcome also from our side. We are Norma and Sabine from the International Welcome Center. Also hi to all the ones who are online. We are in total 8 people caring for all the international students and employees. And I just want to briefly introduce our department to you. So we are the International Welcome Center. So if you're an international degree-seeking student, or an incoming exchange student, or an employee at the JKU, an international one, then we are your point of contact. Then there is also the Students' Ombuds Office located in our department. This is an instance for students in conflict situations with academic staff or general staff. And our boss, Sonja Fackner-Matzinger, is the ombudsperson. And of course, all requests are treated confidentially there. And then there's the MORE initiative, also a very important initiative at the JKU. It is for refugees and displaced students. This initiative helps them to continue their studies or start studying in Austria. So for us, it's very important to spread the word and that all students know about this initiative. Then, what are we doing? What are we here for you? We have a lot of checklists. We also have a lot of fact sheets. There is one fact sheet right over there. So if you're leaving, just grab one. there is also all the information that we're telling now is on the fact sheet as well. So then we also offer this information digitally. So we have a very detailed website. I will come to that later. And we offer a lot of events throughout the semester for international students. So there are some welcome events. Norma will talk about that in a second. We have excursions for you, and there are also events regarding the Austrian job market. And of course, if you have any questions regarding your entry or residence agendas, the life in Austria in general, like housing or insurances, we are here and very happy to help you. And yeah, where to find us is also coming in a second. So maybe before you visit us, you can have a look at our website, because as I said, there's a lot of detailed information on our website. We have different sub pages when it's more about the studying process, or the life in Austria. So please check it out, and you also find our contact details there and our opening hours, of course. Yeah, and then I hand over to my colleague Norma.
Hello, I'm going to give you some facts about the things that are good to know when you're an international student here at the JKU. Please don't forget to pay your tuition fee and your Austrian Student Union fee, because it had happened that people lose their places because they forgot to pay the tuition fee, and that would be really a shame. About the residence permit, the renewal, very important. Most of the student residence permits last just for a year unless you have a special residence permit with mobility. Please don't forget to make an appointment up to 3 months before your residence permit is expiring. You don't have to do it on the phone if you don't like it. We can explain you also in the International Welcome Center how to do it online, so you don't have to talk with anyone if you don't want to. The 16 ECTS, in order to be able to renew your residence permit as an international student, you're going to need to have 16 ECTS at least per academic year. This means if you're starting right now in the summer semester, you also need 16 ECTS, because this is part of the academic year 2024-2025. So please don't forget, because this is very important in order for you to have a smooth process with renewing your residence permit. Also, information like this one is you are going to be able to find in the fact sheet. So I think it would be very helpful if you take one and just scan the QR code so you can find information. Where are we located? We are in the bank building just next to the admissions office. So I think most of you, or well, the people that's going to come later, will be able to find us very easily. We are open every day from Monday to Thursday, unless there's some special occasion. But you can find us in there at least for 2 hours every day. For the upcoming events for this semester, we have on February 28th the scavenger hunt. This is going through the city of Linz, so you can also get to know more places that could be interesting for you and your life in Austria. And it's for the first term international students. On March 1st, we have the city tour through Linz. It's also in English, and it's also for the first term international students. So you're going to get more information briefly about this, and then you can make the registration and join the event. And on March the 5th, we have the International Day at the International Welcome Center and a campus tour in English. And also we have here the QR codes, but you can find them also in the fact sheet in case you want to take it with you.
Good. Then that's from our side. Have a good start at the JKU.
Thank you very much. Questions? No. Any questions in this chat room? No, so far not. Thank you. And don't forget at the end to take one of these fact sheets, as these are really interesting facts. Okay. We rush from point to point, and we are very good in time. The next point is EC2U. Well, what does that mean? Well, I have a good idea. I just did bring in, or did come the ambassadors who will explain what it is. It has to do something with our international affairs, and we are very proud to be part of it. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Presentation. I will forget the presentation today. But I have it, of course.
Perfect. So welcome to our presentation today. Today we're going to talk about EC2U. Also welcome to our virtual viewers here. And what does EC2U mean? EC2U is just a European alliance of different universities. There are many different European alliances of universities, but we are part of this one. And EC2U consists of 9 universities from Portugal, from Romania, from Germany, Austria, of course, Italy, France, Spain, Finland, and also shortly Sweden joined us. So EC2U is a virtual campus which connects different universities, and also there are also other associated partners or stakeholders such as cities, regional governments, or agencies. Also, different student associations are part of EC2U, and also different science parks and socio-economic actors. Yeah.
So EC2U does not only have just events, but there are also the EC2U joint master's programs, which JKU is also focusing on. So there are a lot of very exciting opportunities that you might want to consider once you're done with the JKU. But not only that, but the EC2U also has the EC2U Forum, which the JKU was very, very proud to host in October of 2024. So it brings together a bunch of students, and there's a specific program where you have the opportunity to engage in discussions and work on future challenges together with students from all over Europe. So there's also the EC2U student event, which takes place every year. And in May, it's going to take place in Coimbra. And so it's available to participate with all JKU students. So if you're like, okay, I'm on my exchange semester, or I maybe just started university, but I'd like some experience of like meeting people abroad, but you don't want to go abroad for an entire semester, this is the perfect opportunity. And the JKU has several places open for JKU students. So if you've ever an interest in maybe spending a week in Portugal, discussing and working on interesting new ideas, then definitely check this program out and apply.
There are also other events which are provided at summer winter schools or also entrepreneurial weeks. It's different. Forum take place each year. Also students week take place each year. You will get an email probably, or you will see on the website if when the application starts, and many other information. So it's like a perfect opportunity if you don't want to go abroad for a semester, but for example, you just got a week. If you see the event fits your schedule, then apply.
So who are we and why are we speaking? We are the JKU student ambassadors. So what we do, well, first of all, my name is Arya and I'm a law student.
And my name is Niga, I'm a computer science student.
Good that we know that. But so what do we want to do? So we encourage participation in the mobility programs. So there are specific grants and sponsorships, so you don't have to pay it by yourself. There are different events and projects that are available for free. And I think our job is basically hyping you up, motivating you, and helping you with a very complicated application process. But you've always got support on your side, and that support is us. And we also try to create a bit of transparency and connect people. So we would like to present you the EC2U system in an easy way, but we've got absolutely amazing coordinators for the EC2U at the JKU. So it's not only us, it's like a very, very great team that is very supportive and wants you to have these experiences. So if you're interested, there's a WhatsApp community link. So if you take out your phones, you will be able to scan this little QR code and get more information. And there's also a...
Yes. So also, if you search for JKU EC2U, you can get to the website. You can see all the information there. Every future event will be posted there, also on Instagram, as before mentioned. Yes, and if you need some help with application process, when do the events take place, what we can expect from the events, we already have participated in those events. You can just ask us. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks from my side too.
Thank you. Any questions? No. I just can't tell from my experience. Also be ready to try new things. Ever heard of Yash? second biggest city in Romania. I've been, good luck, I have been there already. So it's very, very fine, a nice partner. Anyway, thank you for your interesting inputs. This was just more or less the warm up with a lot of information. And now we're going to the hard-boiled things. We try to find out and learn more about how to register your courses and a lot of information surrounding it. As studying is very much different to school. Especially in Austria, we have the situation that you yourself have to organize a lot of things, and so you have also a lot of free decisions. I just give you the information in which content your free decisions have to happen, as there are also a lot of small regulations. And we'll go step and step through the process from where to get the information, what are the most important regulations, especially for students in the first semester, for new students. Sometimes I will explain differences between an ordinary study program, a pre-study program, or an extraordinary study program where you just select individual lectures. I don't know if someone is online or here. And in the end, I will show you click by click how to search your lecture, how to get the information you'll find there, how to understand it, and how to sign in. As most of you will know, the first group of sign-in will open on Monday and not today. You will in the end see I've prepared special examples for you that are not real lectures, but anyway I can show you how that will work on Monday in the morning. And I also will explain why most of the lectures, especially on the social economical faculty, you don't have to do it on Monday in the morning. You have time. Up to 2 weeks, and it will not be your harm if you do not do it in the first day, in the first morning, as there is a calculation behind it, but more about that later. As I already mentioned, my name is Peter Brandstetter. I'm the head of this department who is organizing this info day, info session every semester, and we support Kaplan University Study Support System. I'll show you. myJKU, I'll show you in the end, and we try to help you to find out how your study program works if you have any questions, and also try to help you to find the information you need. We'll not do everything for you, but we show you information you need if you don't find it yourself. For today, I have a little bit of study start packages for you. That's the part where I show you where to get information. Second is Kaplan University Study Support System, how to find your lectures, how to sign them in. Course search, course registration. Then myJKU. Most of you didn't know what that is so far, but it will be the next system in a few years, where totally full functionally what KUSSS is at the moment. But it has a lot of functions already that are very nice prepared, especially for mobile use, after you have been already registered into your lectures and the semester starts. And I will show in the end the nice features. And of course, we have a question and answer time in the end, but if there are any questions within the time, you can write in the chat or you can raise your hand. Beg your pardon, if I do not answer all questions, I always pick out questions that are useful for not only one student, that can be useful for a lot of students. If you have a very individual question, you'll see our contact information there, you'll find it in KUSSS, call us, write us an email, or come over. Starting package. What you're doing is a study program. That study program is written somewhere with all the regulations. And these regulations are written in the curriculum and in the study guide of the JKU. Who has already seen that or knows what that is? Raise hand inside. Wow, nice. So many. So I hope also online a lot of students already have seen that. For those who did not see, I'll show you. I close a few windows first. So. I opened already a few sites, and one of the sites is Studies Handbook. I'll start the program to zoom in. So. The study guide of JKU. And you'll find it if you go on German word Studienhandbuch at jku.at. So you just go in Google and say Studienhandbuch JKU and you'll find it. This is a page with a lot of information for all regular study programs we have at the JKU. And you find the legal regulations and also a lot of information how to do your study program. You see, there are all our faculties and all the study programs. We have a lot of study programs. For those who do the university preparation course, you'll find it on the bottom. If I pick out one, we have two informations. We have first here a link, I'll show what's in it, and the word curriculum. Curriculum is the basics. These are the basic rules, what study program that is, who is allowed to do that program, what's the profile, and how the big subjects are. I'll open it and we'll see what I mean. Curriculum. And then if I scroll down, you see the content of table. And this is a German study program. So this is in German. Maybe I'll take an English one. I'll take bachelor program, International Business Administration. Yes, here it is. This is an English study program that you find in English. Qualification profile, admissions, and here the structure and outline. Now you can also get a little overview what to do, and in the end, a bachelor program normally has 180 ECTS. Who knows what ECTS means? Okay, who does not know? Okay, I'll explain it. And this is important for you to manage your study program. ECTS, European Credit Transfer System. This is a regulation all over the European Union, and it says, well, let's think about it. We want students' mobility, and they study in Netherlands, they study in Austria, different study programs. When they want to go over, you should get an idea what did they already do, how much and what. ECTS does not say what, but it says more or less how much they did. And that is calculated by simple thinking. Well, to learn something you need time. And if you do a subject, you need some time to get all to know what you have to know to pass the subject. And we say, okay, let's write down the time a student normally needs. And if a student needs 25 hours, sum up, to get all the content of this lecture, he gets 1 ECTS. So, if a study program has 180 ECTS, a student normally has to do 180 multiplied with 25 hours to finish that study program. We'll see later on at each lecture how many ECTS it has. Typically 2 ECTS up to 4 ECTS. So 50 hours to 100 hours a semester, amount of time you need to finish that lecture, including learning at home, prepare papers, and so on. Okay? So it's more or less the measurement of how much you have to do. Next point, interesting. Here you have the big study introduction and orientation phase. We'll see later it again. Any student has to do that in the beginning of a bachelor and diploma program. What we see then is the big subjects. We will see that later on. I will not say a lot of it about it now. I just show you the end of the curricula, where also very important information normally is to find for you. Typical recommended study plans. Especially in the first semester or second semester, such a recommendation can help you. Well, what should I do in the beginning? The first, this lecture or that lecture, here you get an orientation. Additionally to the studies orientation and into introduction phase. Well, that's still rather abstract, not very concrete. So I show you something that's much more concrete. If I go again to International Business Administration, now the link, I'll find a list of lectures grouped by the subject I mentioned. And here, what I've been talking about, these ECTS credits. So that subject, to finish it, sum up, you need how many hours? 750 hours. Okay? That's a typical amount of a semester. If you want to finish a study program in regular time, you do 30 ECTS a semester. Okay, clear. Whole semester, whole study program has 180 ECTS. A regular study program has 8 semesters, so it's clear, 30 ECTS a semester. So that's an orientation for you to keep in time of the study program. But there's much more in here. You get, if you click on one of the subjects, more detailed information, except of the ECTS. What is it? Bachelor program, first year. What are the objectives? What is the subject? What are the lectures you have to do to finish that subject? And again, if you go to the subject, a lot of information again, and in the end, sometime there will be the lecture itself. Look at that. It's different. Sometimes there's more, sometimes there's less information, but it gives you a very good overview what I have to learn there, how will be the exam, and so on. For your planning, it's useful to know the things in the beginning of the semester to plan your semester. And also sometimes, what are the pre-requirements, pre-requests, I'll show you later on. Method, language, and so on. I will not tell you everything, but you see, have a look in your study program, look up the lectures, and get to know how they work. If I go back to my PowerPoint presentation, you'll see this is exactly what I have on that page here. Curricula and study guide at the JKU. Now I come to some very detailed regulations that are very important for you. There's a regulation since about 2.5 years now that we want students really to study. The Austrian government does not like students who do nothing. So in any regular bachelor or diploma program, you have to do a minimum amount of ECTS within 4 semesters. 16 ECTS again. You heard about 16 ECTS referring to the attendance allowance for international students. 16 ECTS also here, but within 4 semesters. If you do not so, at least 16 ECTS, will kick you out. We have to kick you out by law. If you want to know more about it, and you should read that information maybe next days, very exactly, if you go on the homepage of JKU, I'll take the English version, then of degree programs and studies from A to C. Remember the point, studies from A to C, it's very good for you as there's a lot of information to a lot of keywords. And if I go there to minimum, not money, mini, minimum number of credits, you have the details here. What credits will sum up and so on, read it. And if you do an ordinary study and try to do it in regular study time, you have no problem, as this is only a minimum. Normally you should do a semester 30 ECTS I already mentioned. These are 16 ECTS after 4 semesters. But don't forget it. Otherwise we really kick you out. Okay? Next thing you should keep on your mind and also helps you to get into the study program. And therefore it's called Studies Introduction and Orientation Phase. We expect students to do in the beginning some subjects that help them to understand what is the study program about, to get them a feeling, did they choose the right thing? And it's not totally voluntarily, as you have to do it before you're allowed to do other lectures. Okay? Any curricula has that information in it. You may remember, I've shown you with the curriculum. Here, see, that's the study and orientation phase. I also show you then, again, in KUSSS, how it is represented there to find the lectures you want to sign in, or you have to sign in. But who did already forget, I'll show you again the curriculum. Curriculum, remember maybe that. No, that was not that. This. What does it say in that case? It can be different curricula, different regulations. In that case it says, yes, you have to do these 3 lectures, and as long as you did not fulfill these 3 lectures, you're allowed to do 21 ECTs of the rest here, a list, and then it's over. You're not allowed to do more. So the information is keep on this orientation and really do in the beginning what is necessary to finish it. If you say, well, do I go to that lecture, or do I go to that lecture, do I go to that exam, or go to that exam, please concentrate on what is necessary to finish the studies introduction orientation phase. Otherwise, you really have the problem not to be allowed to do any further lectures. It's also not so complicated, as these lectures are part of your study program. You have to do them anyway. But we just say, please do it in the beginning. If you don't do it in the beginning, we will have a limit how far you can do your study program. Okay. So far, so clear? Yeah? Questions from the chat room? No. Everything's fine. That's perfect. Okay. Here I have an extra paper for it, and you get all the information again, I mentioned already, on this study from A to Z. Also a lot of details. Please read it. Also with frequently asked questions. If we have questions to that 2 obligatory rules, first of all read it, of course. But if there are still questions, of course you can text us. We try to help you. and to get you to know what we mean with it. Next thing is your account. Who was not logged in KUSSS so far? Check who was already logged in. Okay, perfect. Then I don't have to tell you a lot of how to activate your account, as in the beginning is a little bit confusing. First of all, you have a guest account to your application, and then you get a final account and you have to reactivate the password again. But we have to separate it for organizational reasons. Anyway, if online someone does not know how this works, just this presentation here, after you have been assigned to your study program, so you did get your what is it? Okay, after you have got the paper that you're allowed to study and you're written into the study program, find words around if you missed the vocabulary. You have to, again, you get an email and there's the information with the student's number and also the information. You have to activate your account again. You're not allowed to log in with your VK or V account. Forget about it. After your application has been finished, forget about it. Just interesting, your K account. Yeah? And you have to activate your K account, your password again, as you did with your V or VK account. And with that, you're allowed to log in nearly any system at the JKU. Moodle, KUSSS, myJKU, the database of the library, and so on. Only EduRoom is a little bit different, as there you get a different password for security reasons. But if you sign in later on, there will be the information what the EduRoom password is for you. And now we really come to the center of this afternoon. After all these theoretical things, I'll show you step by step the Capital University system. And therefore, I just go there. When you start it, you just go to KUSSS.jku.at. And this is the starting mask. It doesn't matter if you're logged in or not. You could search your courses, but it's more efficiently if you log in, as you get special information that is for you, especially for your study program that you're studying, and you're allowed to sign in into lectures only when you're logged in, of course. I've prepared a student for me. You can sign in, and it's a very good girlfriend of mine, Erika, a long partner of our institute. And Erika does do a lot of study programs. If you go to My Settings, you see personal data. And in personal data, you see your study program or your study programs. For testing affairs, my student has more than one study program. Most of you have only one. Who has more than one study program here in the room? Nobody. Yes, that's that's normally the way it is. And here I could show you already one thing you've seen before. That's the StEOP, short form for Students Orientation and Introduction Phase. Studieneingangs- und Orientierungsphase. German, so the short form is a little bit different to the English. And my students does not have completed it. So you will see that information in your personal data, either if you do a bachelor or diploma program. You will not see that if you do an extraordinary program, for example, the preparation course, as there is no student orientation phase. And you will not see it if you do a master program. I don't know if master students are here. They don't need to do it again, as they have already shown that the know what they're doing when they did their bachelor degree. What we also see here is the personal data. Please check it. A student's number should be there. Your name correct. If not so, please contact the admission service, as this will be the data that will be written down on your final papers. Your title so far, if I have already one, and also your social security number. My student does not have one, as you will need it later on. And your address, but we did take that from your application. You can change it here. What you not can change is your names and so on. You have to take contact to the admissions office, okay? So far, that should work. Also interesting for you, as we know teachers do, and we do either, who did receive the invitation mail for that event? Our SIBS welcome mail. Nobody knows what I mean. We did send to students in the first semester a mail where this event was written in, and we do that to a certain email address. That's your email address you gave us when you did your application. If your email address changed, you can change it here. Okay? So far, so fine. And also what you have to do every semester is to pay your tuition fee. Your tuition fee can be from €24.70, the cheapest version for European students in the regular study time, to, I know, about €800. It depends where you come from, how long do you study. But here you find all the information you need to pay. Don't forget your individual reference. Otherwise, we don't know from whom this money is. But you're still waiting for the registration of lectures. But before I show you that, I want to take your attention to the KUSSS news. Please check them sometimes. Sometimes they're just German. We try to put it there, English and German, but sometimes there are some lectures only German, as you see here. And you also will see that some parts of KUSSS still are not English. Sometimes we just miss the data in English. But check it, there can be something interesting for you. For example, today we have our information session, or important dates and deadlines for the summer term. From here you get to know main registration period starts on Monday, and we have some scaled registration period, and that means not any registration starts on Monday. It depends. It depends. Here it is. It depends on to which faculty your lecture belongs to. No, that's wrong. That's old. Yeah, thank you. My colleague is looking fine. So now it's the correct. It's correct. So on Monday we start with the social faculty. On Tuesday we start with the engineering and natural science faculty. And on Wednesday with the law faculty and the rest. Okay? But we will see at any lecture when registration period starts and when it ends. So you don't have to learn it by heart. That was maybe a reason why I asked the group in here before at which faculty they do their study program. And a lot of important dates and informations. Okay, now I'm prepared. I know I have to do it on Monday. I can do it on Monday or on Wednesday. I have time until, we also see here, we have time until, yeah, we have time until the 21st of February to do our registrations in the main registration period. So we are not panic yet, but we can prepare. Maybe you can prepare tomorrow or on Wednesday. Just look up what's the lectures I want to do to be prepared. Get the information from the studies handbook or students, academic students into well, I've shown before where all the curricula is and the studies handbook. We always say in our words, study guide. Thank you. Therefore, it's useful to know how to find the lectures. And now we're in that area. The next half or 2 hours about we will handle with these 3 menu items. Okay. We have different ways to sign for lectures, to search for lectures and then sign in. The first is maybe the most most useful for you. If you go on course search, you'll find the curricula you are doing on top. Normally, as we mentioned before, there's only one curriculum. My students does more than one. Then you can click on it and you get what you get in your studies handbook. All the list. Nearly looks like the same as the list we have seen before. I'll reopen it to compare it. I'll take the same study program if I find it. Yeah. You see, this is the same structure. But here, we do not have all the information. We have the information for the individual semester. And we also have here on top, as you may remember, Erika did not finish the studies introduction and orientation phase yet. She could check the details again. And this is maybe the best way for you to start with the studies orientation and introduction phase. On top, what she has to do, she has to do 9 ECTS of this list. Then she has finished that phase. And as long as she did not at least 9 ECTS, in the end, she will have been doing everything, as this is all part of the study program. She's just allowed to do that. So she will not be allowed to study more than that on the list until she did not take 9 ECTS here. Okay, and we can have a check at the first one. That should be done in the first semester. And you'll see we have here the information I told you before, registration period. We cannot assign yet. But we have also here the information to the studies handbook or to the studies guide of the JKU. 2 words for the same thing. And what else do we have? We have the ECTS. I've been talking about to you already. That means 2.5 ECTS. How much time you have to invest to finish that lecture. 2.5 is not so funny. That's in the end then 62.5 hours. 1 ECTS point is 25 hours. 2.5 is 62.5 hours. Well, it's not so big. What else do we see? We see this is on Mondays, starts on Monday the 3rd of March, and lasts from 12 to 1:30 p.m. And the teacher is Christian Diskus, and we have 40 places. Nobody so far did register and nobody so far was assigned. This is an information that is maybe interesting for you after the period starts. As you see, the numbers are going to raise, how many people are registered and assigned so far. And also, the last column that sometimes confuses students, on-site. Does not mean you have to be there, but it happens there. It's not online, it's not in cyberspace, it's at the JKU. And you could guess that's on the JKU. If you click on the number, you'll see all the meeting points. And what the hell is the room S2? Yes, that's not so easy for the beginners. The campus is really big, but we have given you a link to go to the lecture hall seminar rooms overview, and here you also find the building S2, and the S2 is Science Park 2. And the Science Park 2, you see that's over there somewhere. If you have been over there, here. We are now at the moment exactly here, I would say. Yeah. After a few weeks, you know which building is, but in the beginning it can be a little bit confusing. So for the first meeting points, be early enough here to get into the room. As on Monday the 3rd of March, there will be a lot of students on the campus. But you have an advantage. You already know how to look it up. That's not all we see. We have more information. Teachers have the possibility to put in some additional information, and sometimes they do it in German and not in English. Well, Google Translate can help. And here's an area that's also very interesting for you, with 2 mandatory informations and 2 informations that are not mandatory. First of all, there's the language of instruction. This lecture is a German lecture. And it has been done by an institute, the Institute of Microelectronic and Microsensoric. Why I say that? I don't know how it is, what you know already and how it is in your country if you are from another country. A university in Austria is very much institute orientated. There's a professor who has his institute, his secretary, and his teaching program. Of course, in the end, they're a little bit coordinated as they build together all the lectures you do in the curricula. But if you have a specific information, a specific question to a lecture, you always go to the institute of the teacher. You go to the secretary of the institute. Not to the secretary of another institute. So we have more than 100 institutes, and you have to know to which institute I have to go. And in that case, it's easy, as they did give us an email to contact them, and they did also give us a hyperlink directly to the homepage of the institute. And if you have such a direct link, it's easy, as there's somewhere where it is, how to contact, telephone number, opening hours, and of course, very often also the team with all the teachers and the lectures, and what's the email address, what's the telephone number, and what room to find. Okay? So that's for you to get in contact. I'll give you a tip. If it's an organizational question concerning the lecture and not content in deep, any institute also has a secretary. Try to first contact the secretary. If they cannot answer you, they will hand it over to the teacher, but they know a lot of these organizational things, and they're much easier to get in contact with, okay? So you see, after we did find our lecture, and we did see the first way, just look up what is my study orientation and introduction phase. I'll get from the lecture a lot of information without registering or something like that. All the information you have here and all the information you have in the studies handbook, or also called the study guide of JKU. Second way to find your lectures. Now I need my example. No, I go back to that. No, I take another one. I'll enter the title. Sometimes I know already the title, and in that case I know it. It's business admin, and I'm too lazy to write down everything. So it's not really like a Google search, but you also can just put in parts of the title of the lecture, of the teacher, of the number, or of the subtitle, or the additional information. Business administration, and it finds anything where business administration is in. And I want to have one of this. Well, not so different. Registration period, ECTS, now it's 3 ECTS, the title, studies handbook link, 3 different lectures. What does that mean? Why are there 3 different lectures? Well, we're a university with about 24,000 students. And a study program like business administrations, we have a few more than 500 students in the beginning every semester. And 1 lecture is not enough, 2 little places. So we offer 3 times the same lecture concerning ECTS, how much to do, and concerning what to do. But 3 different times, 3 different teachers sometimes. And of course, you do not have to take all of them. You can choose one of them. Yeah? And therefore, we have 3. And we also see, except of the 3, they have the same registration period. And what I did not mention before, they all have the assignment according priority number. Remember that. This is the first way how to assign into lectures, and I show how it looks like later on. But priority number, whenever you see that, you have to only to hesitate when is the end, as you have to do your registration in time. You don't have to panic on the 10th of February, but you have to panic on the 19th, 20th of February, as it is not important when you did your registration. That's what I told you. Law faculty, no, not law faculty, social economic faculty, you don't have to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning to do your registrations. You have to do it just in time. And there will be no disadvantage for you. Okay? With assignment according to priority number. So we remember priority number. I'll give you later on the formula how it works. So I could put in here my keyword, like the title. As I did with business administration. There was also another information that is maybe important for you. I told you my student has the student's orientation and introduction phase not finished yet for her study program in Kunststofftechnik. And then she gets a warning. Hey, you didn't finish your student's orientation phase. It's not recommended to do that. You can register, but maybe you will not get you're not allowed to get a grade if you did not just finish your study orientation and preparation phase before. Okay? So if you see some orange, be aware, hey, there is something I have to think about. Of course, This is only valid for Kunststofftechnik. You look a little bit confused. She has more than one study program. She could do that in that study program, that study program, or that study program, or that study program, where she does not have the student's orientation and introduction phase. But she's not allowed to finish that in that study program. Okay. Course search. Again, I search by title. I search for public law to have also something for law faculty. Here it looks rather similar, but a little bit different again. From that aspect, you should know what that already is. You have the title, you have the ECTS, you have the link for the studies handbook, you have the StEOP warning for Kunststofftechnik study program, you have a registration period, you have 4 different lectures on site. Of course, we need more than one, as law is the biggest study program we have normally. Most first semester students than in any other program at the JKU. But we have here a different sequential order. Sequential order is a different way of registration that means more or less first come, first serve. Anyway, no reason to panic on the 12th of February, as we offer enough places in sum up normally. And if we see in the end it has not been enough places, the JKU will look for further lectures normally. Okay? This is the second way of registration, sequential order. I'll demonstrate later on how this looks like. Third way of registration, and now I have the teacher name, Scharinger. There are a lot of Scharinger, but I'm looking for project practical. Here it is. Well, again, looks rather the same way. You will see one different direct assignment. You click on it and you're in the lecture until the lecture is crowded. But here again, so many different lectures, there will be a place for you. And of course, if you click on it and you're in it until the lecture is crowded, means also a first come, first serve principle. It looks a little bit different. I'll show you how to sign in with lectures with that assignment method. So third is direct assignment. Or direct allocation. I have a few more examples how to sign in. They are a little bit more exotic. I'll explain why and how they look like. Next. Course search. And you see I used the search text very often. If you know already what you want to get to find, it's the most easiest way. If you don't know, do it by your curricula. And I, of course, know what I want as I prepared it. MUSSOC. We like short names. Multimedia Study Service SOVI, Social Faculty. Open content. This is a blended learning concept. So you will also see when you go in the meeting points, there is only 2 meeting points, the rest is online. Who likes to do things like that has to look for things like that. But you'll find that normally just on the faculty of social economical faculty, not on the technical faculty. The technical faculty, the key teacher can do with you something like Zoom meeting or so, but organized with that word you'll find only on the social economical faculty. And open content means more or less free, without costs. But in the end, it's more or less a self-study program. I've mentioned this is without costs. I also can show you things that have costs. Where you find MUSSS without open content, it costs. Normally 12 euro per ECTS, and this lecture has 3 ECTS. So now how can tell me how much workload this is? 3 ECTS in the room. Perfect. 75 was the answer, so it's correct. This has costs, and therefore the Kaplan University Study Support System KUSSS just does the shopping cart, and I show you to get it into the shopping cart if you like to do lectures like that. Okay. Before we switch over to test lectures where I really can show you, I also show you a constellation that will assume to you maybe also, and you should know how to understand. If you choose more or less the wrong lecture, a lecture you should not do in the beginning, you may see some things like that. Besides the warning course of the studies introduction and orientation phase, red. If you find a red text, this is not only a warning, this says not allowed. In that case, it says not allowed as it checked all your grades you have already and is looking for special grades you have to be done before. And if you did not do that lecture before, you're not allowed to sign in. So you have to fulfill some prerequisites. In that case, you have to do simply this other lecture, or you have already more than 150 ECTS. No, both. You have to do this lecture and more than 150 ECTS. So not for beginners. And then we'll give you a red flag. Okay? Good. We're good in time. And we need some concentration for the next things we do. So I would suggest we just do 10 minutes of a break. Is it okay? Yeah, okay. That would be great. Yes? That would be great. Yes, then we do so. Then we do so. In this break, you can think about questions. So 10 minutes break. We'll be back here at 25 minutes past 3. Okay, welcome back. Before we continue, I would just want to give an overview what we did so far, especially the last half hour. We have been looking up the different lectures and had a focus on the different ways how to register, and we had priority number, we had sequential order, we had direct allocation, and course with costs, and multimedia study service. So we open content, but that works like direct assignment. I also asked you to think about questions. Who has a question now? Still no questions, okay. As we had a question concerning how to decide which lectures first, I'll maybe say that again. If you have a student's orientation and introduction phase, orientate on that. What is obligated to do has priority. Of course, you can do the rest that is allowed there, as it always sums up at least 30 ECTS, exactly that, what you should do within one semester. If you're already beyond and still not orientated, focus on the studies handbook or the study guide of JKU on the curricula. I'll just take another curricula here now. We did take another before. Go to the end and you find a recommended idealtypischer Studienverlauf in German, as this is a German study program, which what to do first semester, second semester, third semester, and so on. This is a recommendation, the best way to do it. It's not you have to do it that way, but it makes it easier for you to be orientated. Okay, now we are in summer semester. And if you start in summer semester, you will see these programs always start in winter semester. In big study programs, you could do the same that is recommended here in winter semester now. For other study programs, we do not have so much study students. We sometimes have the case that a lecture is only done in the winter semester, and then there's the summer semester, and it comes again in the winter semester. Concerning the studies, orientation, and introduction phase, that should not be a problem, as there should be always lectures to finish it. Maybe not all lectures that are offered, but enough to finish, and enough to do your 30 ECTS. Outside the study orientation and introduction phase, you could do, and that's normally allowed, vice versa. So you are here in summer semester and start with lectures of the second semesters. A lot of lectures are not based on the lectures of the winter semester. Some are based. Check the content in the studies handbook, what are the topics and the methods. Okay? And the next semester you can do it with the other way around, and then you're in the line again. Okay? So I come back to our next step. We want to do all these registrations. I have them here also ready with the formula, and I'll show you how that works in the Kaplan University study support system. Therefore, I have prepared lectures. I'm already allowed to do my registration. But not in summertime 25, but in wintertime 21. And these lectures have the perfect name, Kaplan University Study Support System 3. And you'll find, when I look up that, I'll find a lot of lectures. And wrong semester, this semester. What I've been showing to you before, you find here again. You find assignment by priority number, assignment by sequential order. You find assignment with costs. You find also direct assignment here. And you will see things like that also sometimes in your regular study program, where different registration periods or different assignments types collide within one lecture. And then you have different squares, one square, another square, and so on. If you want to take lectures of one of these squares, you just go to the button register. And then you see there's something that changes. I want to go to priority number. So the first I want to show you is assignment according to priority number. This is the most typical way for the Faculty of Social Economical Study programs. You will see nearly every lecture is assigned by that way. But it's also used in the other faculties. I go to register and then it looks different. What we have not seen before is how it looks like when the registration period is already open, and this registration period is open for at least 4 years now. What we have here now is a new column that's ranking. And that's the point where I have to explain the principle how we do that. The problem is we want to make it possible for any students to get this lecture, and we don't want crowded lectures and we don't want empty lectures. So we want to have the best middle fulfillment of all the lectures. And therefore, we offer to you to say, I want to do a ranking list. I want to do the lecture on Tuesday, 10:15, course that fits best in my timetable. Then you can say, well, okay, I'll take this one and put here by clicking a 1. That's my first rank. I want to take that. But in case this lecture is so crowded or there's something else that doesn't allow me to take part in that lecture, for example, another lecture at the same time, I already have, I can say it would be also fine if I'll take lecture number 2. I just did click and now I get a 2. And if you say, well, okay, if nothing works fine, I also would take the 3rd one. You can click there and say, that's my priority number 3. In the end, when we try to do the assignments, we of course choose your first priority and try to bring you in there. Only if that does not work, we try to bring you in second. If that does not work, we try to bring you in your 3rd. And if that does not work, we try to bring you on the waiting list of the 1st, then of the 2nd, then of the 3rd. As I didn't mention before, if there's a waiting list, with more than one position, of course, we try this also. If you say, no, I never will have time at that meeting point, don't take it. Then we never will try to put you in there. So we do not put you into lectures where you did not set the rank. And we collect all that wishes until the end of the registration period. But only if you saved it. Save it and be always sure you get a successfully message like that. If not, please reconsider and check there, is there a 1, a 2, and so on. Okay, very simple. So if you choose more than one rank, you increase the chances to receive a lecture. But do not choose lectures that really do not fit in your timetable, otherwise you have trouble in the end when you get that lecture. And what you see here now is, as I saved it, there has changed something. Okay, we have seen that before, 40 places, but what is new, now there is already 1 person registered. And as I told you, we wait until the end to get the students into the lectures. Nobody has been assigned so far. Well, but I have here 2 and there's nothing. Well, we always just show up the rank number 1, otherwise we would count you double and triple. Okay? And in that case, there always comes the question, well, when that number in the end of the registration period is smaller than that number, is my assignment for sure? No, not really. It's very likely you will get it, but it's not for sure. It's not for sure if you have a time collision, and I'll show you later on how that looks like and what is allowed. And it's not for sure as if, for example, when here would be a number of, say, 60. 20 students walk over maybe to their second rank, and they maybe walk over here, and then it's crowded. And if your priority number is a very low number, you can't be kicked out either. Very unlikely, but don't be 100% sure if that number is smaller than that number that you will be assigned. It can happen you are not assigned. So what does it mean? Well, anyway, if it is possible, take a second rank. Okay? Save. This was the first way of assignment. The second we've been talking before was sequential order. Here I have it. Well, now we're looking for the differences. Who did find it? Well, the only difference is, for you, what you see is here, the text. It works with the same principle. You can do your first rank and you can do your second rank. Or you just can do one rank, but you have at least to do at least one, otherwise you will not be registered. And then save. Looks the same as before, as the difference is just a calculation in background. I'll show you later on the formula for priority number, and this is a very easy calculation. Every time I say save, it marks when was it. The first one comes first, sequential order concerning the time when you saved your rank. When I say saved my rank, I mean saved my rank. If I say save again, I have that problem. Orange warning, if you save it again, you get a new timestamp. So don't press save 10 minutes before the end of registration period is again or a second time. It would not be useful. So in that case, time is a factor. But as I told you before, don't panic. Think clearly about it. Maybe prepare it today. But you normally don't have to, like crazy, oh, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to die when I'm not save my rank within a millisecond. Okay, so we now did 2 different ways of registration already.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah. A question? Yes.
I have my supplementary exams of physics, mathematics, C.
Yeah.
I'm from non-EU countries like Nepal, and I hear that the supplementary
Okay.
exam of mathematics is very difficult to clear this. Can you tell me?
The question is concerning supplementary exams with the pre-study curriculum. I will later come to information how to sign in. I cannot tell you something about how hard is it to do now. That was the question. Anyway, as there are more students, maybe some word to these exams. I think it's useful to take the lectures and not learn it by yourself. As students of the pre-study program have the chance to learn it by themselves or take part in a lecture. And it's off topics, has nothing to do with the registration itself, but you have offered lectures with costs, so we'll come later on how to register lectures with costs, but they prepare you really. Yeah. And if you do the lectures, you don't have to do the exam in the end, you know. Okay. But maybe I'll show the curriculum of the pre-study program later on for those who do that, as there are some students here, I think. Next, what I want to do here is now direct assignment. Direct assignment. Now, it really looks different. Direct assignment is the most easiest and most practical way to assign for assignment if there is enough place and everyone can take part, as I just can say, well, I like to do that lecture with the study program I have to choose. It's always the same. I didn't mention it before, as normally you just have one. Maybe she wants to do that now with informatics. Register, and here you get a different succeed message that says you have been already assigned. No waiting anymore until the end of the registration period. No priorities, no rankings. When I go back to the registration page, it says assigned. And you also see it here, 40 places, nobody registered, as everyone will be assigned immediately, and I'm already assigned. You find that at law faculty, technical faculty, and later on I will explain also on social economic faculty, but there's a second round, our magic second round, I will tell you later. Last but not last but not least, next one I mentioned before is MOOC open content, and it would be the same like direct assignment, but here it says, hey, you have been already assigned in another lecture with the same ECTS, same content. No students has normally to do the same lecture with the same content and same amount at the same time 2 times. So we check it already. But if it would be so, there would be also a button. Click on it, you are assigned. Hey, I did a big mistake. I don't want to have the direct assignment, I want this one. Can I change it? Yes, but only after I showed you how to assign to lectures with costs. And one sort of lectures with costs is the MUSSS, Multimedia Studies Service SOE, without OC. Okay, I have to show you before, as I cannot. Yes, it's the same. It also checks if I'm already assigned. I did a mistake. I cannot unassign. Okay. Back to what I wanted to tell you. Okay, I have my ranks, I have my direct assignment, and I want to see everything together within one page what I did. And don't be confused, it's a testing lecture, so we did a lot of things in the past, so we see much more than you normally will see. But I can explain it anyway. If you go to my registrations, you will see all your registrations so far. You may remember we did a registration for priority number with the number 101 and 103, and this is my registration for priority number, not assigned so far as we wait until the end of the registration period. Here we have the 104. This is assignment by sequential order, not assigned yet, as we have to wait until the end of the registration period. And I also could say, well, I don't like it, I want to be kicked out again, I don't like the lectures, delete all ranks, or I can go there and say, no, I want to change it, I want that additionally, or I want nothing, and save it. Yeah? How long can you do that? Technically, until the end of the registration period. In that case, until next year. what is after you have been assigned and the registration period is over? You can unregister here, and that was the mistake I did in my preparations. I did forget that it's already in the past. You can unregister until the first meeting point. That was the mistake in my preparation. I didn't change the meeting point. It's a year ago. So it's already over. I cannot sign out. Otherwise, I just would click here, unregister, and I'm out of the lecture until the first meeting point. After the first meeting point, only the secretary or the teacher can sign you out. So if you have a reason why you have to drop that lecture, go contact the teacher or the secretary and ask if they may sign you out. Okay? Good. Blends to map. No, me, but it's ändern schnell. So I do some changes. You can see. Aber die kannst. Na, kannst du so machen? Pair that it looks like as I wanted it. A few seconds, please. And that's 6. Bitte. So we did forget the music for the break, but now I prepared it as I wanted to have it. Now I have an unregister button as the first meeting point is now in June. So you can unregister until the first meeting point and just by unregister. If you did so, you cannot sign in when the registration period is already over, but it's not over yet, so you're still allowed to unregister and then you get the information signed out by KUSSS. I did that to show you also how to register for a lecture with costs. And we have here MUS, or that lecture, it's the same, it's with costs. And for the preparation courses for this pre-study program, there's always a lecture with cost, and you're not assigning directly. What you do then is you put it into the shopping cart, okay? And I'll do that now with my lecture. My lecture is very cheap, costs nothing, but I put it in the shopping cart anyway. Well, then you get again your succeed message, but it says, hey, it is in your shopping cart, you have to pay it on the online shop. Click there, log in with your account, and then you have the possibilities to pay with credit card and so on. If you don't do that, we'll kick out everything of the shopping cart every second day at 5 o'clock in the morning. Okay? And you also see that you have it in the shopping cart on the bottom. Here, assign course with costs. No, on the top. Here, courses with costs in the shopping cart. And you also can say, no, no, I don't want to pay for it. Delete it, like an assignment. Okay? Good. How now does that calculation work? We do in the end of the registration period. And when you see on our news this information about our important meeting points, important timetables, you'll see that course registration period assignment is on, here's the start, and assignment is the 28th. So we take 1 week to do all the calculation. Well, of course, our computers are fast enough to do this within a few minutes, but in that time, we try to optimize. Sometimes raise number of students, places, sometimes even stop a lecture as nobody wants to take it. Sometimes add additional lectures, and therefore we need decisions, and we need teachers, and we need money, and so on and so on. So it needs up to 1 week. That's the 28th of February is the end day of the assignment period. There can be assignments before already. We open it to you when we are finished. We don't keep it back. So there can be also assignments seen maybe on Wednesday, but I cannot say yet. Okay? And what we do in that time is the calculation of your priority number. And now I explain how the priority number works. Even in the first semester, it has normally only very little impact. The priority number is a small calculation. It works like this. Your priority number is 5 times your weighting bonus plus part-time bonus plus random number. You see there's in the end a random number. The random number can be between 0 and 1. But it's not so important. Much more important is this part here. 5 times the weighting bonus. How a weighting bonus does work. If you are assigned to a lecture, you take your place, you'll be there in the first meeting and say, yes, I'm in it, let's go on. And then you never show up again. We don't like you. And we can give you a remark, well, did drop out with any reason. Then you get another weighting bonus, you get a negative bonus. You will, next time you try to get into the lecture, we'll put you in the end of the row. But there can be also another case. You really tried to get in, you did your registration as it should be done, but in the end, you had really no chance, too many people, too crowded, you did not receive the lecture. Next time, you sign in with priority number, we say, oh, last semester, I see, she didn't get the lecture, well, put her in the front. She will be in front, and when we do the assignment, she comes first. And if there are a lot of people didn't show up last semester or are in front, and we still have not enough places, we need the random number to get people still in a order. The part-time bonus is in the middle. The part-time bonus is only for students who do not full study program. For example, people who have to care for the children, work 40 hours a week. Is here someone who does not study program full-time? Not yet in the room. There was one. She left already, as she has a lot to do. Then you could set your part-time bonus lower, and I'll show you. But I warn you. You could do that in personal data here. Unlimited is full-time, normally what you do. And then you can go in 10 ECTS steps down until 10 ECTS credits. What does that mean? You declare yourself, I will not do more than 10 ECTS this semester, as I have so many other things to do like children and so on. Then you get a little bit a higher priority rank, but when you have your 10 ECTS, we say, okay, your wishes are fulfilled, you will not be signed into any other lecture with the priority number assignment, okay? So if no one here, but maybe online, is a part-time student, then he can choose that option. And that's also part of this calculation. Well, and then we have a number, a calculation, and rank the students by the highest number first, lowest number last, and put them into the first rank, second rank, third rank. If there's a waiting list, we try to put them into the waiting list, and then we hope everyone has his place. We also put students into the waiting list by the sequential order, first come, first serve. Calculation, it's totally the same, only calculation is different, as we calculate just by the timestamp. And direct allocation is clear, we put them in until it's crowded. Same with course with costs order or MUS open content. Waiting list, once again explained. How do you get your place when you are on the waiting list? How do you get your place in general? After the system has assigned you, go to the first meeting point. If you don't show up on the first meeting point without excuse, the teacher is allowed to kick you out. If you're on the waiting list, also go there. Because if someone has been kicked out because he didn't show up, the first person from the waiting list has to be taken. Or is taken normally, and so on. So show up at the first meeting point. Good, I'll check my list. I did mention if you set a rank 1 and that there's enough place, there are 2 reasons why you maybe will not receive that lecture. Show you the situation again. Here it is. Nice. Internet has gone or not. Reopen the browser and we'll check it. No Ethernet, so I'll take WLAN, wireless LAN. Switch to Wi-Fi, I need a few seconds. It's back. I don't know why, but internet kicked me out. So, we had that situation, and I said, well, can I always be sure to receive a place if registration so far the number is lower than the places of possibility. I said, no, there can be 2 reasons at least why you do not have the chance to get in, or why you didn't receive the places. First, course students from other lectures with the same content, same course class, we always say, go over as this is the second rank and this is so crowded. When I say course class, I mean this kind of short code between these brackets that says, okay, everything with the same code is same content and same amount of ECTS. Of course, then normally same title. And the second is timetable collisions. As our regulations say, students are allowed to have lectures at the same time, but only to a maximum of 6 units or 4 meeting points. A unit has 45 minutes. If the collision to other lectures you have been already assigned, we will not assign you that priority. It's clear, you cannot be at 2 places at the same time. If you have 5 meeting points, a collision, even 1 minute, it's too much, or you have more than 6 times 45 minutes, that's 270 minutes, 271 minutes, it's too much. Okay? Then you will not receive. Normally I prepared for you a timetable, but my timetable did not fit, but anyway, I'll show you. We have here a timetable that's very basic, but this timetable can maybe help you to check that collisions. And you also get the timetable for lectures you just have registered, not only for lectures you have been already assigned. Therefore, I can edit it. And preview. Well, my preparation still works in parts, but not in all parts I prepared before, but still it works. Beside the fact this is all the same course class, this is all the same lectures, I only take part in 1 lecture of all of them. Ignore that. Simply ignore it. Imagine these are different lectures. Here you see now in red, hey, there's something wrong that does not fit. That gives you a good hit. What's the problem? If it is in red, it says, okay, there's a big problem. Teachers have the possibility, and they should, mark lectures, meeting points, when it's not necessary that you show up. It's good, but it's not essential you show up. Then they can mark it, and then you see it here. Then it's orange. It says, hey, it's not forbidden, but be careful, there's something at the same point. This does not count. That does not count in the end. So you just count the red collisions. And in that case, this would be always exactly 15 minutes, 2 times 30 minutes in time, 30 minutes in time, that's allowed. You also can put it on a, print it on a piece of paper and arrange that, but that's helpful for you to find out time collisions. Okay. So far to timetable. So, I told you before that there is sometimes the chance of a second round. That's especially for the social economic faculty. We do our assignment until the 28th of February. And it happens all the time that there are single lectures where still are places free. So why not say, hey students, there's a free place, take it. And we do so. After the end of the registration period, we reopen on the social economic faculty any lecture where at least 1 place is open, and we don't have a lot of time, we do it by direct assignment. So if you have no place gotten in the lecture you want, but there's another lecture you maybe take, and there's still 1 place, you can go there and say, I want to go in. And if you are the lucky one, you'll get that place. That's the second round. So we have 3 rounds. First round, regular registration. Second round, the last chance places. Third round, going directly to the first lecture and hope. And with that method, we have more than 99% of assignment of students want to take part in. So don't panic. Okay. Questions? There should be questions normally after that part. Yeah. 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 Okay. I said before, for those who do the preparation study program, I'll show the program. I can show it from the studies handbook. I do it here. Normally, students who just do the preparation course have to do a special area like mathematics and so on. Yeah, some have mathematics and more, German and mathematics. Well, so far so good. What you talking about is that what our colleagues from the International Welcome Center told you, hey, you have to do some exams to get your allowance to stay here. And your question is maybe, hey, how to get it? Okay, mathematics itself has 8 ECTS. You can do it by the exam or doing by 2 or 3 lectures. I told you before, hey, do the lectures that is preparing you and maybe the easier way if it's tough. The question now was, well, I have to take 16 ECTS and the preparation course, if I only have mathematics, just offers 8 ECTS. Normally that's not a problem, as when you start in winter semester, you do that, then you're ready, then you start your ordinary program and you have enough possibilities to do 16 ECTS. In summertime, it's maybe different and it's a very special situation if you just have to do 1 subject. Well, then the question is, do something voluntarily. Do all 3, mathematics and maybe history. Or 2 and history. History already has 8 ECTS. So you can choose from these lectures more than you need to do, and then you can get your 16 ECTS. We don't demand it from you as a university, but that's the question of the attendance in Austria, yes. Okay. But what I wanted to show is, if I want, I'm a student in the study preparation program, these lectures are all costs. So if I look up such a lecture in the registration period, in the registration system KUSSS, search for it. You also have your timetable here. My student does not have. Okay, yeah, wrong semester, this semester. Then you will also find information course with costs. Here we have the costs, and when it's open, you have your shopping cart. Put it in your shopping cart. Move over to the shopping area where you with the link where you pay, and then you will be signed in. Okay. Okay, I'll check my PowerPoint presentation and sum up some things. Priority number. You know everything to know about it now. Sequential order. Time is the criterion, but you also can set ranks. Direct allocation, you are directly signed in. Multimedia studies service open content like direct assignment. Looks a little bit different, but also the same. Click on it and you're in without costs. Course with fees, for example, MUS language courses or pre-study program preparation courses. Register, we'll put it in the shopping cart, go to the online shop, pay and you're signed in until it is crowded, of course, always. If there are still free places in the social economical faculty after we did all the allocation, the rest will be opened until Sunday evening with direct allocation. Human medicine, nobody is here because we did not invite them, but they have a different way of so-called combined registration. Nothing for you of interest if you're not from the medicine study program. Maybe, I didn't mention it before, there's someone online or even here, but I don't think so, from the multimedia study program law. It's like direct assignment, but you're only allowed if you paid your learning fee, as this is not for free. And then after you paid it on the presentation days, it needs a few days and then the institute puts it in and you will be allowed to sign in. But for that study program, the registration period is much longer, until April. So far concerning registration, first meeting point, timetable, different ways. After all of that, we have also another platform, that's myJKU, but here I still stop. Question from the chat for general interest, okay?
Very specific questions. So
Oh, okay, thank you. He manages all the specific questions, a lot. So thank you. In the room? No. Then really I switch to another topic, that's myJKU. Only a short presentation. You'll find similar functionality in KUSSS, but this is also available for mobile design. And you have nearly the same elements. What's very interesting is, for example, the cockpit. As in the cockpit, we have a much more sophisticated timetable, including Moodle exams and so on, events within the next 30 days. You have to pay your student's fee, will warn you, and so on. You also have the possibility to get push information for a new grade, changed meeting points, and so on. So here I changed some meeting points and the student did get some pushes. Links to other systems, and of course you have also all your lectures, you're signed in with additional information. For example, this is part, there's an evaluation where you can take part and answer questions to the lecture. That will be a possibility for you at the end of the semester, and it's marked here better than in KUSSS. And it's nearly same functionality, more beautiful, more modern, and in the end, it will be the next Kepler University Study Support System. Of course, a big timetable, also not only the small one, also a big one. Looks a little bit like Google Calendar, and 30 days in advance what happens, even end of, switch to English, end of main registration period in that timetable. So you should not miss any meeting point anymore. So far, so good. And it's open, of course, for you already. You can log in anytime. My presentation is here. Everything I told you now in a few words again. Yes, didn't mention tuition fee via QR code. Was also very nice. You don't have to put that numbers in, just use your modern banking app, pay with it. Important dates in the end again. We'll start with the registration period on Monday, with the social, economical, and the medicine faculty, on Tuesday with the technical and natural science faculty, Wednesday the law faculty, and the rest. Allocations results should be there until the 28th of February, and the free places allocation until the 2nd March, and course will start on the 3rd of March. Maybe you didn't know where we belong, so we are part of the students' organization, and not TESO, it's LSO, my mistake. No, it's the English, it's the translation, okay, TESO in English. And the Students' Information Academic Advising Service is our referat, our team, but our neighbors, our partners at the admission service, every one of you should know it, as they did give you your admission and the exam and recognition service. They also give you your final document when you're finished. So we bring you from the beginning to the end in our department. And if you still have questions concerning organizing your study program, you'll find that data not only on the print, also in KUSSS with contact or on the homepage. I'll show you later on that website. You can write us, come over to us within the meeting points, or call us. Only one thing is very important for us. We have more than 5,000 lectures a semester. We don't know every title of a lecture, how it is organized inside, homework and so on and so on. Please contact, in that case, the teacher or institute. If it is something like general, you got some idea what we're talking about, of course, you can come over. We always try to help. If you don't want to take a picture of that, you really can go to just our homepage. Even by clicking on contact, you get our team and our department with opening hours, closing days, and of course, telephone number, room, and email. Questions? If not, thank you for your attendance. We are finished. I hope you have a nice semester. You enjoy to be student at the JKU. Once again, you're welcome.